The Chicago Bulls are finally on the right side of a lopsided win in which they get a win against Philly. The young talent was on display today. Me and Pat going to break it all down and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat, the designer, host, and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Hayes, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central, Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. Pat, yeah, this is a fun game, bro. Like, I get it, not to take too much away. You beat the Philadelphia 76ers that are clearly tanking for all last life on the planet. 142-110 victory over the Philadelphia 76ers. Josh Giddey had himself a game. Matas Buzelis had himself a game. Kevin Huerter started in place of Kobe White, who came off the bench. Zach Collins scored 19. Zach Collins had the highest plus minus at plus 41. That should tell you what type of game this was. How'd you feel overall about this game, brother?
Listen, it was a fun game to watch. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's a massive takeaway from this game. I think that you got to talk about the fact that you just probably cemented yourself in the play-in because it doesn't seem like Brooklyn or Philly plan on winning anytime soon. But I also think you have to look at this as as a positive step in the right direction for your young core. Josh Giddey, you got to give him all the praise in the world tonight. Balled out absolutely at every turn. 25, 16, and 6. And by the way, the whole thing, right? Because my big thing was if you're putting up good numbers on one side, but you're getting absolutely cooked on the other, it doesn't mean that much. 3 block shots on tonight as well for Josh Giddey. His uptick in defensive play over the last 3 games has really been a breath of fresh air. I saw you tweeted out earlier, and if you think Josh Giddey's not getting paid, be prepared. If he keeps this kind of play up, I'll be one of the main guys champion for him to get paid. Seems like he's finally getting comfortable. I don't know what has changed in his game. If Billy Donovan has given him more freedom to kind of attack, to go downhill more, to attack smaller guards and different things like that. But Josh Giddey's doing it in a variety of ways. And you bring up Zach Collins. I bring up Kevin Huerter. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the party. This is a Kevin Huerter that people were worried about 3 years ago. You know what I mean? This is a Kevin Huerter that everybody was worried about when he was on the Atlanta Hawks, when people were saying he's exactly what the Sacramento Kings needed. This is just one game. This is not, Josh Giddey's on a streak now. He's on 3 games of playing like this. That's called a streak. Kevin Huerter's on, I guess this is game 2 technically of him shooting at this level. But again, it felt like impactful buckets. Remember yesterday I said, felt like every time you needed Kevin Huerter to hit a big bucket, he sailed it over the rim. That was not the case in this game. In fact, it seemed like every time you needed Kevin Huerter to pound a nail a little bit deeper into the wood, that he was able to do so. And that was a solid metaphor that I feel like doesn't roll off the tongue well anymore. I'm just in case.
Luckily you said that about Kevin Huerter. If you use that metaphor talking about like Grady Dick or something, it would have been mad questionable. But
shout out to Grady Dick.
This game turned so early, right? The game was tied 8-8 with 9 minutes left in the first quarter. The Bulls then go on a 13-4 run to push it to 21-12. And while the Philadelphia 76ers chipped at that lead at different points in time, the Bulls never gave the lead back up at all in that game at that point in time. The Philadelphia 76ers in this game only held the lead for 14 seconds in the game. That's how much the Bulls led this one from wire to wire. And I said this over on Central, and I want to get your thoughts on this here, Pat. To me, this felt like a game where, and unless I overlook something because of my excitement in watching the game, and again, excitement just to see the young players play well, not excitement like, oh my God, right there, like not that type of excitement.
Team win. That's what people need. It's okay to want your team that you root for to win.
Exactly.
Anyway,
but it felt like a game where Billy Donovan didn't get in the way. Now I know we're missing so many players, so the rotation had to be the rotation, and we did see Matas as a small ball 5 guarding Andre Drummond sometimes, and my heart stopped a little bit in that, but Billy Donovan didn't get in the way of the young players today. He let them, Dalen Terry having a career high tonight, he let the guys play.
Yeah, and then, listen, I think it starts with Josh Giddey and how he was able to facilitate the way, even on plays where he didn't get the assist credited to him. I thought he did a good job getting the hockey assist on that. I thought he set up the offense really well. I thought he put guys in a really good position. And guys didn't play scared. That's the main thing, right? How many times do we talk about guys being hesitant on taking shots on this team? A lot less this season in moments, but just in the history of this Bulls team under Billy Donovan, there's been a hesitancy to shoot the basketball. That has not taken place with Josh Giddey on the court, and especially in these last 3 games. I mean, to me, when you talk about the confidence that this Bulls team had, and again, maybe it is kind of on the same tip that I give Josh Giddey credit on the defensive end, right? When he raises his defensive level, the Bulls seem to raise their defensive level. I think this team defensively was dominant down in the paint. I saw a play where Philly's Paul George bringing the ball up, and Matas is calling out I'm sorry, not Matas. Josh Giddey's calling out the defensive sets to Matas, and I'm like, wait a minute, this is what you need to see out of this young guy. I think same thing on the offensive side of the ball, Hayes. How he's been shooting the 3-ball, how confidently he's been shooting the 3-ball. Feels contagious, and maybe it's Kevin Huerter's shooting the 3-ball was a little bit contagious to him, but there's a confidence in this team that if the ball is in my hands and I'm open, I'm taking a shot because we expect to knock it down. Over these last 3 games, it seems like that's shown its head more times than not, and that's something that you hope can continue. Look, the young Bulls played well pretty much through and through. There's not really much bad you can say about a game like this. You can kind of talk about, okay, well, Philadelphia is a team that is absolutely horrid. And of course, the Chicago Bulls were able to win. Does feel like they've given up a little bit, but it's still a lineup that had Tyrese Maxey in it. It's still a lineup that had Paul George in it. And dare I say, the Bulls did a pretty dang good job of guarding them, except I ain't gonna lie. Modest welcome to the NBA moment a little bit in that first half.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. And I think it was out of respect too, like, because Paul George is somebody who's talked very positively about Matas Buzelis, but he's definitely had his welcome to the NBA moment, and that's perfectly fine. You want those are growing opportunities. The thing that I loved about this game as well, Pat, I gotta say it, man. I know I touched on it a little bit earlier. Dalen Terry looked like an NBA player, not just an NBA player, a confident NBA player. Yeah. I don't know if we've seen, like, there were points in this game where it was like Dalen Terry was looking at people like he wanted to do the too small on people a couple of times.
Yeah. Now, see, only tough part I have about it, and not to discredit, he balled out today. I thought defensively he was very aggressive. I thought that he did a really good job playing the passing lanes. I thought he did a really good job just getting downhill on a consistent basis. And again, somebody else who's not afraid to attack the rim. Felt like it was a lot against a Ricky Council, Alani Walker. You know what I mean, some of the backups in there. Not to say those guys aren't G League players, but those are the kind of guys that we've seen Dalen cook against. That's kind of why it's been such a disappointment with Dalen when he has been coming off of the bench, when he has had these opportunities. Because you look at him as a bench piece and go, well, you should be able to cook some of these guys. You should be able to have a game burst some of these guys tonight versus the guys he was going up against, right? You see, I mean, David Roddy got in the game in that fourth quarter, kind of with Dalen Terry in there as well. And it's one of those moments where it's like, yeah, that's the moment where you see the matchup, you attack the matchup. And that's the bulldog that we've expected from Dalen ever since watching him in the G League. And I feel like we haven't seen that enough. It was good to see it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it was really good to see it. Listen, I get it what you're saying as far as Philly playing some guys, and they did play some guys that we'll probably never hear from again. But I think one of the things that we definitely need to, like, talk about and spend some time processing here is that I don't know when's the last time THT checked into the game, but it looks like he gained 5 pounds of head in the time that he was out. Of skull.
Yeah,
is that a better way to say it? It is what it is. I don't care. I didn't say he got 5 pounds ahead. I said he gained 5 pounds ahead.
If that's the case, shout out to him. No, listen, I'm telling you, bro. Ever since I seen THT in person, bro,
yeah, that
hairline is just getting worse, dog. I don't know what the game plan is. Hey, his hairline got the same game plan as the Bulls front office. Yeah, I mean, it's just directionless, brother. That's a directionless line.
Now you got no front, no middle, no side. Like at this point, it's just like, just let it go, bro.
THT got the type of hairline that he's supposed to be playing a TV dad.
Bro, he does have the Uncle Phil. THT got the Uncle Phil, bro.
Got that Uncle Phil, got that Carl Winslow.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, he got TV dad head shape, bro. That's crazy. He playing in the whole NBA, bro.
That's very accurate. That's crazy accurate. Anyway, we're going to continue the conversation. I want to talk a little bit about the chemistry that seems like it's growing between Matas Buzelis and Josh Giddey, and how that could help both of them this offseason. But first, we got to get to a message from one of our sponsors, and that is DoorDash. NBA fans, get ready. They swoosh, you save. Thanks to Dash Pass, every time a player drops 50 or more points in a game, you score a huge deal the next day. It's simple. When any player scores 50 or more in a game during the 2024-25 NBA regular season, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order, up to $10 off the next day from noon to midnight. Here are a few ways you can take advantage of the deal. After an epic 50-point performance, celebrate by ordering wings, pizza, or burgers from your favorite spot delivered straight to your door. Need a quick and easy lunch the next day? With Dash Pass, you can get your favorite meals with zero delivery fees and reduced service fees. Plus, now you save even more with this exclusive NBA offer. Sign up for Dash Pass and be ready to save. When a player scores 50 or more in a game, Dash Pass members get 50% off an order the next day, up to $10 off. Just use promo code NBA50 from noon to midnight after a 50-point game on eligible orders at participating merchants. Plus, have an active Dash Pass account. Terms apply. Visit DoorDash to learn more. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. All right, Patrick. Josh Giddey, Matas Buzelis today. It was basically a full court lob. It was probably about 3/4 of the court, but full court lob. We're gonna round up there. And at that point, like that was almost like okay, this is what we're doing today. And I think that they had really good chemistry today. I would like to see more like pick and roll opportunities for the lob spot, but we've talked about how we want to see more actual plays ran for Matas Buzelis. We're not really seeing that too much right now. But how do you feel about the growing chemistry between these two players?
Listen, it seems like Matas knows when to cut to the basket. It seems like he knows when Giddey's going to throw it. It seems like there's an unspoken connection between these two, and it's something that I think you can absolutely hang your hat on. We talked about some of the connection that Matas had with Lonzo Ball. It seems here's the thing about guys that facilitate the ball really well. The thing that they love is a guy that's going to run to the rim no matter what. And Matas Buzelis just is that guy. He fits that. If the ball is up, right, and it bounces off of the rim, he's going to try and put it back. He's going to try to meet you at the rim for a dunk. He's going to try to get downhill. Like he has that kind of aggression to try and play around the rim, and I think that that's something that just speaks to Josh Giddey's kind of game. I think what has set this dynamic off even more, though, is the aggression that we've seen Josh Giddey have on smaller guards going up against him, on guys who he feels like he can get past, because now, right, no matter what, there is this. It's weird to say. It almost seems like defenders still have this belief of like Josh Giddey is like, all right, bet I can meet him at the rim no matter what. And he's not even trying to get it to the rim. He's like, bet, let me just dump it off right here to Matas and let him finish the ball around for a two-hand jam. You know what I mean? He's a rim runner kind of player right now. And the one thing that I like about Matas is, and why I think he accentuates kind of what Giddey has shown over these last few games here and why he's playing at such a high level, is Matas knows what his strengths are right now. He's shooting the three ball okay. It has kind of fallen off here as he's gotten more opportunities to shoot that three ball a little bit more. But Matas is like, listen, that don't mean that I'm done for the day. Meet me at the rim. I'm going to be around the rim. I'm grabbing rebounds. Meet me up top. And I think the vice versa of it that I love is, right, Matas isn't going in blind. He's giving the ball back to Giddey sometimes for easy buckets down the other way. I mean, Matas finishing out this game with 5 assists.
5 assists. Yeah, 5 assists in this game. And that's the thing, like when we were doing our scouting of Matas Buzelis, like he has point forward potential. He has that ability. He has really good court vision. He's a solid passer for a big man. I want to put that, it's not like he's not Jokic, but he's a solid passer, right? And so I love that he's starting to use that part. But the thing is that you just pointed out here, and I think that's the defining characteristic of Matas Buzelis, he's never going to disappear. Yeah. And that's not to knock anybody else. Notice I'm saying that without bringing up anybody. Y'all could probably know some players that have been in the Bulls uniforms that have had a tendency to disappear. There's not been There's not been games where Matas has disappeared. There have been games where he hasn't gotten shots that I would have liked to see them go to him, but he always finds a way to be active. You always see him. And so that's something that's just a skill that I think sometimes could be overlooked because, yeah, you don't want players to disappear. And as a rookie, that he got 17 shots today, really good, right? But that doesn't always get that number of shots. It's really good that he does not disappear. He's always out there trying to make a play.
And I think this is the thing, right? The conversation around Matas that we've been having is give him more and see what he's able to do with it. He didn't shoot the basketball well today. You know what that don't mean? Take shots away from him. Yeah. 6 for 17 today, 17 points, still found a way to impact the game. Didn't shoot the basketball really well, didn't have an efficient game, but still found a way to impact the game. I think that's very important when you talk about a young player. Didn't give up on the defensive side of the ball. Got cooked. Listen, Paul George is cooking that man in the first half. I thought he fought back a little bit better in the second half.
Yeah, he learned.
But I also think Philly gave up, bro. Like, did you see Nick Nurse over there, bro? Nick Nurse looked like, bro, why did I sign here? I should have just took the year off, bro. Like, I should have never came to this city, bro. I'm good.
I should have never signed with you.
Calm yourself, Nick. You got a little bit too much dip on your chip there, brother. But I think when you talk about, right, like Matas Buzelis, and you talk about the impact that he's had, and of course Josh Giddey playing a part into that, but you look over the last 10, right? 12 points, 24, 14, 16, 12, 11, 5 versus the Knicks, but did some really nice things defensively and rebounded the ball. The best he's rebounded the ball over that 10-game stretch. 15, 17. I'm not going to call no names out, but I don't remember a stretch like that.
I'm sure there was like one or at least two in there over the 5 years, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that.
That's what Must still holding on to.
Oh, a lot of them still hold on to it, bro. And it just be like, all right, man.
I think the thing that's most telling about that, though, if we being honest, is that Knicks game. 5 points, 2 for 8, shot the basketball horribly, shot it 1 for 6 from 3. Very similar. Hasn't shot the 3 ball well here as well over the last 10 games.
This is true.
7 rebounds, got a block in that game, got a steal in that game, played some really good defense when you needed them to, helped you get to that overtime period. Didn't do it with his scoring, did it with some sort of impact. That's what I love about Matas Buzelis, and dare I say that's what I love about some of what we're seeing out of Josh Giddey and him working together. They're both impacting the game, and they're playing off each other really well.
Yeah, and you love to see that as well. What did you think about Kobe's game today, specifically in the second half? It was a really, first of all, it was a weird game from Kobe. You pointed out before we started, there was a graphic of him starting in the starting lineup. He actually wasn't in the starting lineup. He was a late scratch. Then they decided to add him back to the game that he could end up playing. That was really weird. I don't know what's going on there. I'll do some research on that. What do you think about the game from Kobe White in the second half today?
You know what? Again, right? I'll give Kobe some credit. I think he shot the 3 ball a little bit better today, but didn't take nearly as many threes coming off of the bench here. He was 4 for 9 in the second half, 2 for 3 from the 3-point line. What the thing that you credit Kobe White for, though, again, weirdly enough, not the offensive side of the ball, turning some offense into defense in this game.
Yeah.
Turning some offense into defense in this game. Listen, the thing about the Bulls is, right, they've gotten to this point where they're weird. They can score at a weird level that we haven't seen over the last 3 years. It just, all of a sudden, it's just like 150, we got you. Don't worry about that. The problem is they'll give up 151. We haven't seen this team have a defensive stretch this good probably in the Billy Donovan era. Like, this has been some really, really, now it hasn't proven the wins in 2 of these games, but I'm talking about the consistent effort from everybody on the floor. You've got 5 guys out there looking like they're trying to actually do something on the defensive end. I haven't seen that from a Bulls team in a long time. Somebody let me know the last time they remember a Bulls team locking in defensively. I'm not saying locking down, but locking in defensively and at least giving that effort, because you know what? All you need is 1 quarter of 18 points, and you can put a team away with how you're scoring the basketball now.
No, I mean, they've had some other good defensive stretches this season. I'd have to go and look at the games. There were a couple of games early in the season where we were actually playing halfway decent, where we had like a second gear defensively. But I think for the talent level that you had in this game, because you don't necessarily look at the the players that played in this game are like, yeah, this is going to be one of those games where we play really good defense. You wouldn't have thought that, right? So they didn't go away. They were all engaged. They were all seemed like they were communicating defensively as well. And you said it earlier, and it's something that we probably need to track. Like when Josh Giddey gives that effort defensively, I really do think that it becomes infectious for the other players, because like the one knock that people have on Josh Giddey is his defense. Is like, if he's out there sacrificing, fighting through screens, those type of things, you better damn well be out there doing the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and I think that is, you're seeing that with major pieces out there, right? Of course, we'll talk about Lonzo Ball here as he didn't come back out there, who's somebody that you talk about defensively. Maybe you can say some addition by subtraction when you've got Nikola Vucevic dealing with a little bit of calf tightness. He's not out there. We know he's lost a lot of times down low, just turned around in the wrong direction or in the pick and roll game. I'm not saying I love Matas at small ball 5, and I hope that Billy didn't see that and go, oh, we got another one. Yeah, I'm terrified. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
I remember him.
Hey, bro.
Please don't.
Scared,
please don't do that.
I'm so scared.
Please don't do that.
He's like a white DJJ. I can put him down there at the 5.
But with that said, man, next up we're going to talk a little bit about Lonzo, man, and what happened with him, unfortunately, right after this. All right, Pat. So we lose Lonzo in this game due to a laceration on the face. He does not come back into this game.
It was the face, right?
Huh?
It was the face, right?
Yeah, face.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was the face. 8 minutes only played for Lonzo Ball. Now, I don't with a laceration, unless it was extremely deep and he has to get stitches and they want to wait till that heals, I don't see Lonzo necessarily missing some time. But maybe can we play again on Wednesday? Considering we're already missing Lonzo, we're missing P. Will, we're missing Jalen. Vooch sit out this game. Vooch, just send Vooch home. But outside of that,
it was weird. That was weird. Three or what, 4 years now, and Vooch has played through everything.
Everything, bro.
And now we got calf tightness.
Remember, he almost played through COVID. So calf tightness takes him out, bro.
It was weird.
Yeah. You gotta learn to read the tea leaves there.
Was that the beginning of the tank battle? Like they were trying, they were like, please lose this game. And the young Bulls was like, let me show you something.
Zach Collins said, it's my time now.
It's my time now.
Which, I mean, Zach Collins put up a hell of a performance.
Zach Collins ball today. Listen, the Lonzo Ball injury, I'm not worried about that. I don't even know what it is. They said a laceration to the head. Do with that what you will, I guess. I don't know. It must have been in a spot where they just couldn't get the blood to stop without stitching it.
Yeah.
Or, and listen, I guess read the tea leaves on this too, where they like, we've got an excuse to take Lonzo out of the game, sit him down.
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. Like, I can't answer what happened because weird injuries really played a part in some of the guys missing tonight. Like, calf tightness isn't a weird injury, but it's weird for Vooch, who we've watched be literally a warrior.
Like, calf tightness is different if it was like me and you going out to playing pickup in the Windy City Breeze versus Chi-Town Sports Central game. Like, all right, calf tightness can take us down. But Vooch, who we seen literally, like, there's been time, like, didn't he play with a broken finger for like a week?
Yeah, Vooch has played through some injuries, bro. Like, it's such an obvious. Like, I feel like the NBA is gonna call him and be like, "We get what you're trying to do, and we know you suck, but we will absolutely take a pick away from y'all if y'all do that again, bro."
It's like, can they do it if it's a legitimate? If a doctor says that he has calf tightness, can they do anything about it?
Listen, I know some doctors out there that say a lot of things. That don't mean that they doctors.
You know how you got your Adderall prescription there, Pat?
I mean, listen, I do it all natural, dog. I get a little ashwagandha in there. That's my Adderall out there.
You know what? That actually does have a very similar effect, which is crazy.
Bro, I'm not joking.
I know you're not joking. I'm agreeing with you because
I got the mushroom supplements upstairs. They're regular mushrooms. Calm down, you heathens. There's no Aaron Rodgers going on here. We're not doing a little ayahuasca out here. We're not doing no ayahuasca. But yeah, man, tap into that if you got ADHD but don't like taking pills. Takes about a month for it to get into the system. Anyway, I think the big thing. Let me ask you this. And I know, right, we can't take a ton away from this game because, again, Philly sucks.
Yeah.
But do you like the fact that Well, Vooch is missing. Lonzo maybe not as much, but really just kind of Vooch is missing, and that guy that was a question mark defensively for 4 years here. And instantly it felt like from the last game where the Bulls played some really good defense, I thought, and just weren't able to come away with it in one quarter. I thought for 3 quarters the Bulls played solid defense. There was one quarter where they just didn't.
Mm-hmm.
To the next game, Vooch not there, and all of a sudden it looked like a completely different defensive team. Do you attribute that to Vooch not being on the floor?
Not entirely. Because I mean, we've seen us have some good defensive performances with Vooch on the court, but I do think there's something to be said that when you're out there playing free, and I think that this team they just were out there playing it. I think they were just out there having fun. I think that, Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins being in the starting lineup for guys that, haven't necessarily been in the rotation as consistently as what they were on prior teams. I think those things played a part into it. I mean, make no mistake about it. Vooch is absolutely terrible defensively. Make no mistake about it. Like, I'm not trying to make a case for Vooch being some better defender than people. No, he is who we think he is on the defensive side of the ball. But I think this was one of those games where you just saw the momentum just kept building and building. Now, if we see 3-4 games like this, if Vooch sits, then I may be willing to say that. But right now, this just felt like one of those games where the Bulls actually played into the momentum and kept that momentum the whole time.
It's one of those weird things where it's like Zach LaVine gets traded, all of a sudden we see Matas and Giddey start playing better. Vooch sits down, all of a sudden the defense looks a heck of a lot better. It's like, were you really just were you vets really just in the way? I do wonder that. Now, again, fair. Like you said, it may just be it was this game. It's not a big deal, but it just really feels like, dog, like every time we get one of y'all out of the way, somebody gets their wings.
And that's what you want at this point in time, right? You want those young players to look like they're getting their wings, as you said it. Like, so we'll see how this continues for the rest of this season, man. Anything left, Pat, before we get up out of here?
Nah, man. Only thing we got left, I guess, with a 3-win team down the stretch, are we really playing the song? Do we really got to do the song?
It's up to you, bro. This is your stick, bro.
Dang it. Everybody move! Lil Boozy first. I guess we'll let you keep the name.
No.
Hey, Joel Embiid, it's time for you to give up the
game. First of all, before we get up out of here, I do have to say this. Stacey King, Magic Giddey, stop it. Please, no. Stop it, bro. You got to stop it, bro.
Fam, I avoided it. I avoided it.
Got to be stopped.
I avoided it.
Be stopped.
I was going to throw it in the song, and I was like, you know what? I can't stop myself from the joke that I will say.
Yeah, he got to stop it. He can't do the Magic Giddey. I can't do the Magic Giddey. Little Boozy Verter's already pushing it. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, and Roku TV. You can also go to LockedOnDaily.com to sign up for the Locked On Bulls daily newsletter. For Pat, the designer, I'm Hayes. This has been Locked On Bulls. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Over or under, does he call him Magic Giddey in the next episode?
Oh, bro. When do we play Atlanta? That's a dangerous game to call him Magic Giddey and Magic Giddey. I think everybody's uncomfortable with that, man.